Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Habibur Rahman. We are from Group 3 and our academic project topic is the role of Islamic finance in mitigating the economic impact of COVID-19 on the society in Malaysia. As all of us know, the year of 2020 is totally a nightmare for everyone in the world because of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, existence that totally have changed people's life respectively. Thus, this COVID-19 pandemic also have brought a lot of problems and consequences, especially in the economic sector, which also affects the country's economic growth because many of the companies, the productions are being stopped. During the pandemic, the financial system in majority parts of the world are badly affected. The global economy during COVID-19 has left wobble and stumble. Several Islamic scholars believe that Islamic finance is capable for every sector and not only countering the economic implications of problems and crises of a pandemic like this, but also of emerging as an alternative financial mechanism capable of challenging the conventional financial sector. Therefore, as a result, Islamic finance have took part in participating their responsibilities in order to repair back their country's economic system that have been attacked by the COVID-19 pandemic crisis through the financial service mechanism that have been provided to make sure the economic system of the country is stable and able to provide some relief on the burden that the majority of the society face in this hard time. The problem statement of this research study is the innovation by the Islamic financial services when the impact of COVID-19 affects the societies in Malaysia. Therefore, idealizing the innovation that can be taken up the Islamic finance industry is whereby there is digital innovation that can increase up the partnership values with the fintech community. Meanwhile, in the same time, developing the social finance instruments such as endowment wakaf, donation sadaqah, and giving zakat. Next, the research question of this research study is, firstly, does the Islamic finance is presentable to help in this type of situation when the country is facing financial disaster that have been created by this COVID-19 virus? Secondly, does Islamic finance can equally serve as a mechanism to alleviate hardship and provide relief to the society in Malaysia during this COVID-19 pandemic? Next, the research objective of this research study is to conceptually explore the function and responsibility of Islamic finance in reducing the negative effect of COVID-19 on society in Malaysia, and also to understand the insights of the 4 stages economic impact due to this COVID-19 pandemic. However, the significance of this research study is to give benefit and knowledge regarding the function and responsibility of Islamic finance in overcoming the challenges in economic impact of COVID-19 on the society in Malaysia. This research study is about the function and responsibility of Islamic finance in overcoming the economic effect and challenges of COVID-19 on the society in Malaysia. So, the scope of the study is supposed to look into the research of objectives that have been provided and mainly to identify and understand the economic impact stages and the function of Islamic finance industry in overcoming the economic crisis during this COVID-19 pandemic time.
As you all know, COVID-19 infection has spread currently, which became the big issue in every country. Authorities have been trying to prevent the outbreak of the COVID-19. There are 4 stages of economic impact in COVID-19 pandemic, where it starts from economic business failure, which interrupts the supply and demand. There are policies applied by bank. One of it is they extend the loan moratorium for another 3 months. More importantly, the social open innovation by the Islamic Financial Service is to shape back the economy and social. Other than that, it is potential to create a stable financial. In this study, the theoretical framework provides the perspective of the role of Islamic finance in mitigating the economic impact of the COVID-19 on the society in Malaysia. Based on the research question, does the Islamic finance good enough to help during a situation like the economic crisis that have been created by this COVID-19 pandemic? A summary of the remaining subtopics of this study aims to conceptually explore the role of the Islamic finance in reducing the negative effect of the COVID-19 on society in Malaysia. Other than that, the theoretical framework explains that the social open innovation by the Islamic social service have impact on the economy in Malaysia during the pandemic. This chapter aims to implement and innovate the Islamic financial service through being helpful in the pandemic.
As we know, the research methodology is known as the research approach is a way and a method to solve any kind of research problem throughout systematically and effectively in any research paper. The qualitative approach has been used to be respond into the intent of this research, whereby the data was gathered via interview by preparing the questions and obtaining the response from the target respondents. Inductive approach has therefore been used in the study because the researcher used observations to create an analogy or to explain an image and the movement of the phenomenon that was studied. The research methodology of this study comprised the literature review, qualitative data collection, which is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured interview. Besides that, the population for this research study is mainly from the experienced and expert worker in the industrial sector that related to the research field, such as the bank staffs and the bank officers. It is because this group of people that have been selected normally have an Islamic finance, economics background, whereby they are more familiar with the practices, services and knowledge regarding the Islamic banking items and tools, as well as they are more experienced with the current issue that is going on in the Islamic finance sector. The sample of the study is among the experts and experienced worker, which is in the industrial sector, whereby we have interviewed about 6 bank officers from the selected bank respectively, which is the first panel is known as Mr. Muhammad Ilham bin Zubair, and he worked at Bank Muamalat as a consumer credit analyst. The second panel will be Mr. Abdul Bashir bin Muhammad Saif, and he works at Maybank Islamic Berhad as a business banking officer. The third panel is known as Mr. Ahmad Fadlullah bin Hamza, and he works at Bank Rakyat as a head of financing unit. The fourth panel is known as Mr. Muhammad Hanif bin Sahul Hamid. He works at Hong Leong Bank as a personal loan executive. The fifth panel is known as Madam Mehrun Nisa binti Abdul Malik. She works at Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad as an assistant general manager. And the final panel is known as Madam Siti Sharifah binti Muhammad Hussein. She works at Bank of America Malaysia Berhad and as a branch coordinator officer. In this study, the researcher used purposive sampling as the basis in order to select the sample, the only relevant towards this research topic, because it is known as a judgment selective sampling, whereby the researchers will choose the sample of population to participate in their research study. Moreover, there were 5 questions that have been derived to meet and achieve our research objective. Furthermore, in this research study, the data was obtained using 2 methods, which is primary and secondary data collection method. Hence, as we know, primary data actually refers to a first-hand information or data that have been obtained by the researcher itself for his or her research study, like how we have achieved through the virtual interview session with the respondents. However, the secondary data refers to the information that have already been collected, analyzed, documented and also published by some other researchers or people, such as from the academic online websites such as AMIRUL Insight, online journals and also articles that relevant to this research topic. Finally, the method of analysis used in this research is thematic analysis. This is the most common form of analysis, especially in qualitative research, whereby this analysis will be pinpointing, investigating and record data within the data being obtained. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, for the finding, there is 3 steps and 5 questions that we already asked from interviewer. So for the first is what is most affected in the Islamic finance during this COVID-19. For overall, banking institutions were less affected, but however there is certain part that give trouble for banks, such as difficulty to gain profit. Even there is moratorium also for marketing, it was difficult to certain staff because there is MCO, CMO and so on, also locked down for Malaysia for a few months, and we know every staff they have own KPI, so for sure to achieve that KPI during this pandemic it was a bit difficult. Next, to Islamic finance will follow in being honest by not impose any additional fine. The answer is yes, because as we know, for Islamic finance they are monitored by the Securities Commission Malaysia and Sharia governance by Bank Negara Malaysia. For sure there is no additional fine or add since all is based on Al-Quran and Sunnah. If they want it, maybe they will discuss first. So throughout this COVID, as we have seen for ourselves, fintech has managed to present themselves throughout this COVID, where most of them use cashless methods to prevent the virus from spreading. As the government also agreed to provide lestari as well as a moratorium, this can further ease the burden on the people as well as improve the country's economy or revive the economy. Besides fintech, there are several other ways to help the banking industry, such as fixed deposit, investment, and so on. So for the overall discussion and finding, this pandemic had such a huge impact on many people that some of them need to borrow money with a loan. Thus, with the assistance provided by the government to some extent can further reduce their burden. In addition, lestari moratorium also was given. Also, institutions such as zakat, wakaf also can help those who are affected.
In conclusion, this study aims at conceptually exploring the role of Islamic finance in mitigating the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on the people and society at large. Based on the insight from literature, this study concludes that Islamic finance is one thing that are very important in the economy. Zakat, wakaf and fintech, all of this giving the meaningful contribution to the economy. In addition, it can help the community who needs fund during the pandemic. It can also improve the country's economy and help repair after the lockdown is implemented, which has many adverse effects on the economy. So, based on this finding, the study also found that Islamic social funding through its product, such as zakat and wakaf, contributes to the pandemic reduction based on surveys. In providing economic and social well-being, zakat and wakaf institutions have played a leading role and improved societies suffering using various programs in different countries. At the same time, with the availability of fintech technology, not only can reduce the risk of infection rate, where there is no need to jam at ATM machine or CDM machine to complete daily affairs, but it also help repair the country's economy. Last but not least, the dynamics in the industry are changing with the COVID-19. The necessary measures on public health have created the needs for companies to change course and overall prospect for the future. That's all from me. Thank you.